What? Where are we, Dobie?
I don't know, but it looks a lot like a children's room, with toys everywhere.
Wait a minute, it can't be. This looks like
The
Evil Doll's room. Hello, everyone! Today, Dobie and I are going to escape from the Evil Doll's house. What will we encounter?
And what awaits us will be a multitude of amazing and mysterious challenges. Our goal is not only to escape, but also to defeat the evil doll herself.
Just look at this room. It even has a special atmosphere that makes you start to feel like a child again.
I completely agree with you, Labrador. Today we will also plunge into childhood and explore the house of this doll.
So, it looks like we need to go through this small passage. The arrows lead to the house. Hopefully, the battle with the doll won't start too soon.
We picked up some candy. I wouldn't try it. She might have poisoned it. We need to find 10 of these candies.
It seems like we need to jump here. Let's postpone it for a bit and explore this house. Maybe we'll find something useful here.
Great. It wasn't in vain that we looked around. We found another candy.
Hooray! Checkpoint so we can die.
How much she loves herself, hanging her own portraits. I think you took your phrase too seriously. There was no need to die for a check.
I accidentally thought it was okay to walk there.
Ahead is another hole. Where are we descending to? It's like we're not far from hell.
Doesn't look like hell. It's a mountain of dishes here.
Listen, for me, a mountain of dishes is hell. I hate washing them.
And I'm the opposite. I enjoy it. I turn on my favorite playlist and sing along. It really lifts my spirits.
It's very strange. It seems like this place hasn't been cleaned in years. Maybe instead of washing dishes, she just buys new ones?
Yeah, that seems to be the case. I can't think of any other explanation for this mess.
It feels like we still have forever to go. I don't see the end in the distance. These arrows do have a mesmerizing effect, almost as if they're intentionally arranged to create an illusion or induce hallucinations.
Did you notice that in this room the floor is lava? But I see roses in this lava. It seems like these are hallucinations.
I see them too. Great, we've reached another checkpoint.
It seems like there's finally an end. Phew, I hope the next location won't involve parkour. I'm a bit tired already.
Some creepy toys, perhaps a demon has possessed them, or the souls of children are trapped inside them. Brr! Scary. By the way, did you know that in Poppy Playtime, the toys aren't actually bloody, but it's a mixture of red poppy? I recently studied the storyline of this game. It's very interesting.
No, I didn't know. I'll definitely check it out in my free time, but just look at how we were fooled. It turns out we didn't see the real end, but now we can see the house in the distance. It seems like we should head there.
Let's hurry up then. I can even see a Ferris wheel. It's a very interesting location. I'd like the amusement park to be close to our police station.
Hey, Dobby, have you ever thought about candies?
Of course, Lab. Who doesn't love sweets?
True that. But do you have a favorite candy?
Well, I think my choice is chocolate candies with nuts. What about you?
I prefer caramel candies. They're like a sweet sound in the middle of the workday.
Agreed. Sometimes caramel can be a real lifesaver. But you know what's even better than candies?
I don't think anything can be better than candies. Well, maybe even more candies.
Yeah, exactly. I'm on the same page with you. Candies are just incredibly delicious.
You just look at her. Why is she sitting there staring at us and didn't even say hello?
It seems to me she pretended to be an inanimate doll, but was actually watching us.
Then it's even scarier. Maybe we need to walk around here and find a way to open the gates.
Here it is, the button. Looks like we need to press 3 of these.
It says you can hide here. Looks like we're about to face some dangerous challenge.
Let's go.
And here she is, descending on her long braids. How does she see anything with those eyes?
Oops, let's hide quickly. I want to watch her from a safe place.
Let's climb higher. Maybe she won't notice us that way.
Did you see that? Her braids just flickered past the room. I'd hold my breath.
We mustn't forget our current task, namely to press 2 more buttons.
It's good that we took a look around. It's never unnecessary. Actually, I see quite a few rooms here where we can hide, so this challenge will be very easy for us, especially considering that we have experience as sheriffs.
I constantly hear her whispering. It's very unsettling.
Oh no, she's behind us. We need to hurry and press this button and hide. Let's lighten the mood and ease the tension by telling the folks a couple of interesting stories.
Okay, let me get started. It was a regular morning in our quiet town. Sheriff Dobie and I decided to relax a bit and headed to our favorite corner cafe to enjoy some delicious donuts and good conversation. Just as we were starting to savor the aroma of fresh donuts, our tranquility was suddenly disrupted. We received a call from the evil ice cream vendor, who allegedly hypnotized children with his ice cream and demanded ransom. Without hesitation, we abandoned the donuts and rushed to the scene. The situation was serious, and we needed to act quickly. Upon arrival at the ice cream stand, we found a group of children with blank, trance-like stares, as if they were indeed under hypnosis. We realized that the ice cream contained some strange component that affected the children's minds. Without wasting any time, we devised a plan. I distracted the ice cream vendor by asking him questions about his ice cream, while Dobie searched for and destroyed the source of the hypnotic influence. Thanks to our coordinated efforts, we were able to expose the villain and free all the children from his control. We apprehended the ice cream vendor and handed him over to the police.
Great story, Labrador. In the meantime, we've passed the first mini-challenge and are tackling the parkour again. Let me continue our tales. Waking up to the unexpected sounds of fireworks, I immediately sensed that something was amiss. After all, it was still early in the morning, and such loud noises didn't fit the usual order of things in our town. Getting out of bed, I realized that I needed to check what was going on. Stepping outside, my nose caught something strange. The smell of smoke and fire. Sheriff Labrador, my faithful partner, was already waiting for me outside my house, and his expression said it all. Something serious had happened. Following our instincts, we decided to investigate the area where we heard the fireworks. Soon enough, we found the source of the smoke. A warehouse storing goods for our town was on fire. We quickly approached the scene and began unraveling the puzzle. The traces left at the crime scene told us that it was the work of malicious criminals, unwilling to bring anything good to our town. Gathering all possible evidence, we concluded that our task was to find the culprits and prevent further attacks on our community. Thanks to our efforts and meticulous investigation, we were able to track down the criminals and arrest them before they could do any more harm.
Dobie, you remembered another captivating story as well, but I can already feel that we're close to our goal. The final battle with the boss, the evil doll, is just around the corner. But before that, I want to share one more of my stories. After a long and well-deserved break, when Dobie and I finally returned to work, I felt full of enthusiasm and ready for action. However, to our surprise, the first few hours on duty were completely calm. Not a single call came in, and I began to find it suspicious. Suspicions grew when I noticed that our antenna wasn't transmitting signals. Apparently, something had happened to the wires. We started checking and found that the wires had been chewed through. The culprit turned out to be an evil raccoon, who clearly didn't want us to receive calls and be able to help people. Realizing immediately that our communication was disrupted, I pressed the SOS button to alert the other sheriffs about the problem. We couldn't afford to leave our town unprotected due to unexpected technical issues. Soon after that, the calls started pouring in one after another. It was obvious that people needed our help, and there was no time to waste. Dobie and I immediately headed to the scenes to assist those in need.
Oh my God, while you were telling us your story, we've already started battling the evil doll. Let's give her a fight.
Did you see how that giant candy nearly hit us on the head? We need to not only aim at it, but also dodge its attacks.
She seems to really love sweets. How is she not stuck in another place? Oh, she's a doll.
Shoot more accurately, our shots are missing.
Let's go, let's go, let's go.
By the way, Dobie, have you ever thought about the harm of sweets?
Of course, Lab. Sweets can be delicious, but they can also be harmful, especially if consumed in excess.
Exactly. I've noticed that lately our residents have been consuming too many sweets. This can lead to health problems, especially for children.
Yes, and not just for children. We need to inform our citizens about the importance of balanced nutrition and limiting the consumption of sweets.
Agreed. Let's organize a campaign to educate people about the dangers of excessive sugar consumption. Together, we can make our city healthier and stronger.
Yes, we did it. Well done, Sheriff Labrador.
Hold on. Maybe we haven't won yet. I'm not quite sure what she's doing right now.
It seems like I understand what's about to happen, and I'm glad about it.
Oh my, what a ridiculous death. It must be quite embarrassing, especially considering she almost had us for dinner.
Absolutely! It's time to celebrate our victory for real now!
Sometimes even the cringiest dances feel like a victory lap, don't they?
I agree with you, but it's still good that other players don't see it.
It seems like we've reached the end of this place. which means it's time to wrap things up. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed watching us escape from this house today, please give us a like and subscribe to the channel. And of course, don't forget to suggest other Roblox places for us to play. We're not saying goodbye. See you later. Hello everybody, Sheriff Labrador and Dobie here.
Yeah. Hello, everyone. As you may have guessed, today we are escaping from Mr. Smiley's daycare. Let's get started.
It's hard not to notice all these neon arrows leading to the ventilation. By the way, didn't you find it strange that he was just standing there staring at us?
I think all these facts point to Mr. Smiley conducting experiments on us, or he's playing with us like we're lab rats.
You must be right, and he's just crazy. I think he'll be watching us through surveillance cameras throughout all the trials. Brr!
I agree, it's creepy, but we're sheriffs. We won't be scared by that.
Meanwhile, we're parkouring over pipes in the sewers. Did we fall into a manhole?
I don't remember that either. I think we entered through the ventilation, not a manhole. Everything in this daycare is so strange.
Well, it doesn't matter. The important thing is that I'm the best parkourist in our town, and we'll get through this challenge quickly.
Let's think about how we got here. We're not kids, after all.
It seems like there are two possibilities here. Either he's grabbing everyone and tossing them in a cell regardless of age, or he's a bit blind and didn't notice we're not kids.
It seems to me like he knew we were sheriffs and wanted to see if professionals could pass all his challenges.
That's also a great theory, but we still have to figure all of this out.
Oh, look, there's a big fan on the floor here. It blows so hard that we're being lifted up.
But we need to be careful and watch out for the laser to protect our heads.
Great job. We've reached the next obstacle. I see a grill ahead. It looks like we need to press these buttons to open it.
I hope we don't have to press them simultaneously.
Let's check it now. We just need to jump over this rotating platform.
We've been walking through this sewer for a long time. I have a question. Why is it so gigantic, and where does all this acidic water come from?
Great! There's just one button left. I don't understand why they made such a huge sewer, but I think the acid is what powers all these mechanisms and engines in these trials.
I remembered an interesting story about how we saved our city from an acid flood, but I'll tell it in a couple of minutes. So watch the video to the end, guys.
Great, the gates are open. Let's go.
Hold on, we need to pass one more rotating platform.
I know we can do it. This was a very simple challenge.
I'm still bothered by the fact that the sewer is connected to the ventilation. The whole daycare must smell awful.
It seems like it's depicted here that children love us and pull us towards the ground. What could this mean? And who leaves these drawings?
Wow, look, he's right in front of us. Why isn't he paying attention to us? I don't think he can't hear us.
I think he's deliberately ignoring us to attack when we least expect it.
Oh, you were right, but now we need to make a run for it.
He's very close. Ow! Oh no, what's happening? Where is he taking us?
If I'm honest, I didn't understand his intentions. Maybe he wanted to take us back to the cell but accidentally swallowed us.
It seems to me that those crawling kids distracted us. We need to check on this right now.
It looks like both Mr. Smiley and the kids are interested in us. They seem to be in it together. Perhaps he feeds them a special blend.
Great, it seems like we've confused him a bit and he's stuck. It's a good moment to make our escape.
It seems we need to jump into this hole. Goodbye, Mr. Smiley.
Hey, just don't crash on the way down.
Nice job, Dobie. We landed next to the ball pit. Let's keep going.
I already have an idea of what we need to do in this challenge. One pipe should be enough for us.
While we're going through this challenge, let's tell the guys the promised story.
With pleasure, I will tell this story. This day started off as usual, but soon we began receiving alarming reports from the townspeople. Water coming out of their taps was unusual, starting to acidify and even change color. Labrador and I were immediately dispatched to investigate this strange situation.
Arriving on scene, we inspected several homes and saw that the situation was indeed serious. Water flowing from the taps was not only acidic, but also of various colors, from green to purple. This immediately put us on alert because such a thing couldn't be a coincidence.
We began our investigation and soon discovered that the problem stemmed from an error by one of the sewer workers who had mistakenly connected the pipes beneath the laboratory. Waste from the lab, containing acidic substances, had started to flow into the city's water systems.
We realized that if we didn't stop this flow of acid, the city could be in danger. We urgently called in specialists to help us regain control of the situation and prevent further contamination of the water.
Through our combined efforts with our team, we set up temporary barriers and started pumping out the contaminated water from the system. While engineers worked to fix the errors, we ensured the safety of residents and coordinated the evacuation of those in particularly hazardous areas.
Wow, look, while we were telling the story, we reached the boss battle. The sign said we need to knock Mr. Smiley down. But how do we do that?
Let's get this sorted out. I noticed there are small children on his platform. I'm sure they'll be in our way.
Let's observe what he's going to do.
I think it's better to run before he jumps on us.
Oh, let's retreat.
2. We need to be more careful. Just like the sewer worker under the laboratory from our story.
I agree. He should have been more careful when he was fixing the pipes. But the main thing is that everything turned out fine, and this incident showed us how important it is to be vigilant and prepared to help, regardless of the job.
Oh no! Did you see how that kid sneakily grabbed our legs and wouldn't let go? Where does he get all that strength from? And he pulled us down too. But now we know we need to steer clear of those kids.
I got it. We need to lure him and wait until he starts attacking, then step aside at the right moment so he falls into the lava.
Ha ha ha! Why do these kids fly so amusingly into the stratosphere?
Why is he so close to the edge but not falling? Maybe we need to wait a bit longer or step back a bit later.
Try to step back as quickly as possible so he doesn't have time to react.
And also, we need to stand closer to the edge of this platform.
Oh no! One kid did manage to grab onto us after all. How did that happen? There were so few of them left here.
Yay! We dodged it. That's what you get, Mr. Smiley. I hope we don't encounter him again, and he won't hinder our escape from here.
Let's continue our escape. The main thing is not to fall now. That would be really frustrating, especially if we had to start the battle all over again.
Looks like we need to take the elevator. There are so many floors. It seems like this isn't a daycare, but an entire complex.
Wow! Just look at how enormous these rooms are. I can't believe all this was made by Mr. Smiley just to amuse himself by watching us go through these trials and fall into traps.
Oops. Yeah, this is all very strange and mystical. I wish the author had added some notes so we could better understand the plot. Damn. Here we go again with these rotating platforms, and there are 10 times more of them.
And I also see a bunch of swinging maces ahead. There must be 10 times more of them than in one of the previous trials. Why are we being tortured now if we defeated Mr. Smiley and there's no one left to watch us? Or maybe those little crawling kids are actually adult souls trapped in children's bodies. Brr.
And it's like the kids actually organized all of this, and Mr. Smiley was just a tool in their hands. That's truly creepy, Dobie, but I think we're overthinking it. This daycare couldn't have such a well-thought-out and captivating plot. We should save this idea and create a game like this. Guys, would you play a game created by Sheriff Labrador and Dobie?
Hey, that sounds like a great idea. Now we just need to learn how to create games. Speaking of games, since we're on the topic, let's tell the guys the story about how we saved our residents' computers from a massive virus outbreak.
Of course. Don't worry, there won't be any viruses in our game. It just happens to be a coincidence. This day seemed ordinary until we started receiving anxious calls from the town residents. Everyone was talking about strange updates on their computers that couldn't be postponed. Immediately after installing the updates, their screens were flooded with pop-ups, and some computers demanded ransom to unlock. Someone was so scared that they even threw their computer in the trash. Dobie and I realized this was serious and required immediate action.
Our first step was to determine the source of the problem. We found out that the operating system update came from one of the largest software companies. We went there to conduct our investigation.
At the company, we discovered that none of the employees were aware of what was happening. However, after carefully examining the security logs, we found out that a new employee had recently joined the company. This employee had been planning their sinister plan for years, writing the virus in advance and figuring out how to embed it into the update. He wrote it down on a flash drive and once he was hired, put his plan into action.
Realizing the need for swift action, we turned to the city's best programmers. Together, we started working on removing the virus and restoring the systems. We had to immerse ourselves in cybersecurity to understand how to combat this evil.
The process was complex and demanding. We had to develop special programs to remove the virus and recover data on infected computers. Programmers worked day and night while we ensured coordination and support.
Thanks to our combined efforts and perseverance, we managed to create a program that eliminated the virus and restored the systems of the town's residents. We spread it through local media and social networks so everyone could download and install this fix.
Hooray! Dobby, we've escaped from that daycare. That means it's time for us to say goodbye. Thanks, everyone, for watching. Leave a like and be sure to tell us what else we should play. Maybe Poppy Playtime?
See you later.
Hi, guys. Today, Dobie and I have entered the Roblox mode, Escape from Babysitter Betty's Nursery. Don't forget to like and comment.
Hi. So, Labrador, we're in the nursery, and it's pretty boring here. Looks like Betty is on the phone. A perfect moment to escape.
Yeah, Betty isn't usually very attentive, but if she gets angry, she becomes a real monster. We need to act quickly and carefully. Hey, do you remember that there's also the janitor Ben?
Of course. Ben is always running around the corridors with his huge mop. He probably dreams of catching us and sending us back to the nursery.
All right, let's start. Look, we need to crawl through this hole in the wall. Hey, Dobie, don't get stuck there.
Aha! I almost thought I was stuck. But no, I made it through. Wow, look, there's a whole maze of toys here. Is that a giant teddy bear?
Yeah, exactly. Let's pass by it and carefully go down this slide. I hope it's not too slippery. Oh, I almost fell.
Ha! Watch your step, Labrador. Hey, what do you think if Betty were a superhero? What would her superpower be?
I think she could teleport so she could instantly appear next to us and send us back to the nursery. What do you think?
I think her superpower would be sleepy dust. She would put all the kids to sleep instantly so they wouldn't escape. Oh, look, there's Ben with his mop.
Quick, hide behind this bed. Oh, Ben, you have no idea how close we are to you. Ha!
Whew, that was close. Now let's go through this pillow tunnel. By the way, what if Ben were the main character in a horror movie?
That would be something. The movie would be called Killer Mop Ben Returns. Ha! All right, just a bit more. Let's get to the exit quickly.
I see the door. We just need to get past this builder block and we're free. Hey, look, Betty is back. I hope she didn't see us.
All right, Dobie. Our task is to build a tower out of blocks to climb over this playpen fence. Look, I've already started. Hand me a couple more blocks.
Got it, Labrador. Here are some more blocks. By the way, do you remember how we used to escape from our babysitter when we were kids? She always made us take naps, but we just wanted to play.
Oh, of course I remember. We used pillows as steps to climb out the window. Good times. But now we've got a similar challenge. Almost done. Climb up.
Climbing up. I hope these blocks hold. Whoa, they're wobbling. Hold on tight, Labrador. Who made it? Now we need to build a block tower to reach the ventilation. This pile will do.
Look, there's the ventilation. I'm sure Ben is there. He's always on guard. Haha. He's like our watchdog, but with a mop. Let's get to work. Blocks in place.
Oh, Ben in the ventilation is just hilarious. I remember once he chased us with his mop when we tried to steal some cookies. He should be reminded of that. All right, climbing up.
I'm right behind you. Hey, look, there's Ben. He spotted us. Dobie, do you have a plan?
Of course, let's remember our childhood tricks. Remember how we set up obstacles? We'll do the same now. Let's throw blocks at him and make a run for it.
Great idea. Take this, Ben. Here's a block. Faster, Dobie. There's the ventilation door. Push it.
Hooray, we did it. Whew, we're out. Labrador, as always, you're the best. Remember how we used to escape as kids?
Of course I remember. That time when you put a pillow under the door to keep it from creaking, and then we quietly slipped out into the garden. Ha ha!
And the babysitter was looking for us all over the house while we hid in the bushes eating raspberries. That was so much fun.
When Dobie and I were little, our parents decided to have an evening without kids and hired a babysitter to look after us. We got the address and went there ourselves since our street was safe and our parents thought we could handle it. Unfortunately, we got the address wrong.
Yes, Labrador, I remember how it was. We approached the house that we thought was the right one. The door opened and a tall man in a white apron with a butcher knife in his hand stood before us. We were a bit confused but decided he must be our babysitter since the address matched.
We entered the house and immediately felt uneasy. The kitchen had large knives hanging everywhere and there were chunks of meat all around. We noticed a refrigerator that looked suspicious. When he opened it to grab something, we saw jars with what looked like eyes.
I remember how scared I was. Labrador and I started whispering, thinking this guy was a real murderer. He kept playing with the knife and gave us strange looks. We couldn't believe our parents sent us to such a person.
We decided we had to get out of there somehow. But when we tried to leave, he suddenly asked us what we were doing. I almost screamed in fear, But then I pulled myself together and said we wanted to take a little walk.
To our surprise, he let us go. We left the house and ran as fast as we could. We decided to go back home and tell our parents what happened. When we finally got home, Mom and Dad looked worried.
They immediately knew something was wrong. We explained what happened and they realized they had given us the wrong address. The real babysitter was waiting for us at a house on another street.
Dad decided to go back to that house and figure out what was going on. When he returned, he was laughing. It turned out that the man was a local chef preparing for a big banquet. Those eyes in the refrigerator were just pickled olives and cherries.
We laughed about it for a long time, but that incident taught us to be more careful. Ever since then, every time we see a chef with a knife, we remember that day and laugh.
It was one of those childhood adventures that stayed with us for life. Sometimes scary things turn out to be completely harmless. The main thing is not to lose your head and stay brave. Guys, don't forget to like and comment.
Dobie and I were at our station when we received an urgent call. All the babysitters in the world had suddenly started a revolt and taken over one of the daycares in our town. We quickly geared up and headed to the scene. It was hard to believe what could have caused such chaos.
When we arrived, we were met with a strange sight. Babysitters, usually so calm and caring, now looked like an army ready for battle. They had barricaded the entrance to the daycare and were shouting slogans. Some were holding toys like weapons, while others waved around diapers.
We approached cautiously, trying not to provoke more aggression. I attempted to start a conversation with the head babysitter, who seemed to be leading the revolt. She was elderly and stern, but determination shone in her eyes.
She responded that the babysitters were demanding better working conditions and higher wages. They felt undervalued and overworked. This was a full-blown babysitter revolution.
We realized the situation was serious and a peaceful solution was necessary. We suggested forming a committee to address the babysitters' issues and promised to relay their demands to the city authorities. But to do this, they needed to end the revolt and vacate the daycare.
The head babysitter thought it over and agreed. She believed we genuinely wanted to help. We arranged a meeting with the mayor and representatives from the education department to discuss the babysitters' demands.
At the meeting, the babysitters were able to voice their concerns and complaints. The mayor listened attentively and promised to take steps to improve their working conditions. It was decided to increase their salaries, improve their work schedules, and provide additional resources to aid them in their tough job.
After these negotiations, the babysitters calmed down and returned to their duties. The daycare reopened, and the children happily welcomed their babysitters back. Labrador and I were pleased that we could prevent the conflict from escalating and find a solution that satisfied everyone.
That day showed us how important it is to listen to people and help solve their problems. Even peaceful professions like babysitters can revolt if they are not heard. We learned to appreciate their work even more.
Yes, Labrador, it was an important lesson for all of us. We're glad we could help the babysitters and restore order in our town.
One morning, Dobie and I were at our station when we suddenly received a strange and unusual call. The message stated that a volcano had erupted in the city center, spewing money. We couldn't believe our ears, but we decided to head to the scene and figure out what was happening.
When we arrived, we saw an incredible sight. In place of the old fountain, there was now a real volcano, spewing money instead of lava, bills, coins, gold bars. A crowd of people had gathered around, trying to catch as much money as possible, and chaos ensued.
Dobie and I realized the situation was getting out of control. People were pushing, arguing, and even fighting over the money. We had to intervene quickly to prevent a disaster. I took out a megaphone and started calming the crowd, urging everyone to move to a safe distance and avoid creating a stampede.
Meanwhile, I tried to figure out where this strange volcano came from. We noticed a scientist in a white lab coat nearby, observing the scene intently. I approached him and asked what was going on.
The scientist introduced himself as Dr. Finch and explained that he was conducting an experiment to create a source of infinite wealth. He didn't expect the experiment to get out of control and lead to a money volcano eruption. He was extremely worried and ready to help us solve the problem.
Dr. Finch and I quickly devised a plan to shut down the volcano. He explained the steps we needed to take to safely stop the eruption. While Labrador continued to manage the crowd, Dr. Finch and I worked on deactivating the machine that powered the volcano.
The work was complex and required precision, but we managed it. When the last safety switch was turned off, the eruption stopped, and the volcano began to quiet down. People calmed down, and we were able to restore order.
Dr. Finch thanked us for our help and promised not to conduct any more experiments without proper safety measures. Labrador and I were pleased that we could prevent a disaster and bring order back to the city.
We completed the mode. See you next time. Hello, friends. It's Sheriff Labrador here again with my tireless partner, Sheriff Dobie. Today, we've jumped into a totally crazy mode in Roblox called Shrink or Grow to complete the obby. This is going to be a real puzzle challenge. Hit the like button if you love obbies and comment below who you think will complete all the levels faster, me or Dobie.
Hey, everyone. Oh, guys, this isn't just any obby. Here, you don't just jump over obstacles, you also have to change sizes at the right time. In some sections, you need to shrink down to the size of an ant to crawl under barriers, while in others, you need to become a giant to leap over massive gaps. It seems like we're going to need all our agility and cleverness to make it through this obby.
It all starts with a small level where we learn how to change sizes. There are magic platforms that either shrink us or grow us. And right from the start, it's clear that this won't be easy. You need to time your jumps onto the platforms perfectly to get the right size and avoid falling into the abyss.
The backstory of this mode says that this obby was created by a great scientist who accidentally mixed magic potions and created a world where size doesn't matter. His lab was filled with experiments, and eventually the entire world turned into a maze with changing scales. Now we have to navigate through his creation to find a way out.
But be careful, friends. The mode is full of traps, disappearing platforms, moving blocks, and even spikes that pop up out of nowhere. And the hardest part is choosing the right size at the right time so you don't get stuck or fall. Imagine, you need to shrink to slip under a laser and then instantly grow to avoid falling from high platforms.
There are even sections where you have to switch sizes mid-air. For example, shrinking to slip through a narrow passage, then quickly growing to leap over a giant gap. It's like an acrobatic show, but with elements of magic and awesome obby challenges.
We can get help from special power-ups, speed boosts, double jumps, or temporary invisibility to get through the toughest sections. But you still have to find those power-ups, and they might be hidden in the most unexpected places, like under a platform that you can only see when you're mini-sized.
And of course, at the end of each level, there's a big final jump that you can only make if you choose the right sizes in the correct sequence. It's like a true test of speed, reaction, and logic. Guys, let us know in the comments which size you prefer, tiny or gigantic. And Dobie and I are setting off on our journey through this incredible obby. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss our new adventures and escapes.
In some sections, you don't even need to grow larger. I just returned to my original size and easily got through it. Dobie, do you see this beautiful staircase we're walking on? It's painted in rainbow colors. Wow, it looks amazing.
Sheriff, look back. With each step you take, the staircase disappears. You're lucky you're moving fast enough to get through it. The best move here would be to grow bigger and start running as fast as possible, just like Sonic.
Oh, we've hit another staircase with waves. Let's grow larger here too and try to just jump over it. Guys, watch and remember these hacks. These Roblox modes really test your cleverness, and Dobie and I are super resourceful. We always find solutions to any tough challenges, right, Dobie?
That's right. Wow, this looks like a real water slide, just like in a water park, but without the water. By the way, I've often responded to calls at water parks. It's a place where anyone can easily get injured. We're not medics, of course, but we have to figure out how they got hurt. Who knows? There might be evil scientists or wizards at the water park. We're always on guard, keeping order.
Hey, have you noticed that with each level, the obby gets harder and harder? The traps activate faster, the platforms disappear quicker, and the gaps between them get wider. It's like the scientists set everything up specifically to confuse us. But we're not that easy to fool, right, Dobie?
Of course, we're real sheriffs. The key is to choose the right moments to change sizes. Labrador, it seems like something changes every time in this obby. I see some new paths that weren't there before. That means the further we go, the tougher it gets. But we're not giving up. The main thing is to keep our balance and remember to change sizes at the right time.
Dobie, did you see what happened to the town square? At first, I thought I was having vision problems or maybe I was just too tired. Imagine this. I'm walking downtown in the morning, and suddenly I see the statue in the square has grown to the size of a house. And just a little further, right across from the cafe, there's a tiny car, barely bigger than a toy. I couldn't believe my eyes. Was this really happening? Only later did I find out that it was all the work of an evil scientist. He invented a device that can enlarge or shrink anything.
Labrador, I was shocked too. When I saw that giant thing in the square, I thought it was some elaborate prank or a movie being filmed. But then, when I saw a giant mailbox fall right in the middle of the street, scaring all the passers-by, I realized something was really wrong. And the scariest part is that this scientist, Dr. Shrank, decided he could use his invention to establish a new order in the town. He enlarged everything he considered important and shrank everything else, as if he had the right to decide what the town needed and what it didn't.
Yeah, Shrank definitely got carried away with his device. He figured that if he made his invention known to the world, he could dictate terms, and the town would become his personal playground. At first, everything looked chaotic. Giant objects blocked the streets, tiny buildings got lost among huge bushes and benches, but when he enlarged the town hall tower so much that it blocked out the entire sky, that's when it became a real problem. We knew we had to do something fast, but it wasn't easy. Shrank's device was very powerful and compact. It could be anywhere.
Labrador, do you remember how we started searching for Shrank? We decided he must be hiding nearby to keep an eye on the results of his actions. We split up to search the area, and I found one of his hidden labs on the outskirts of town. It was full of all sorts of strange gadgets, and I almost stepped on one of his miniature robots that was patrolling the entrance. At first I thought it was just a toy, but then the robot started making alarm sounds, and I had to act fast to avoid causing a scene.
You did a great job, Dobie! While you were checking out the lab, I stumbled upon Shrank himself. He was busy checking the results of his latest experiment. He had shrunk the fountain in the park down to the size of a cup and was laughing like a madman. I decided to play it smart and started distracting him with conversation. I told him his invention was really impressive, but hinted that without his device, the town couldn't function normally. You should have seen his face. Shrank was beaming with pride. But as soon as I noticed that the device was on his belt, I knew this was our chance.
Labrador, you're a master at distraction. While you were talking to him, I managed to get closer and start deactivating his security systems. Those devices were set up to interfere with any attempt to get close to the main gadget. But luckily, I managed to bypass them using that miniature robot I had grabbed from his lab. And as soon as Shrank got distracted by your comment about the impact of his invention on the town, I made a dash and grabbed the device.
Yes, we defeated him there, but there was another situation related to this mode. It all started like an ordinary day. We were doing our usual patrol of the area when we suddenly noticed strange, shiny blocks appearing in the square, resembling those from computer games. I thought it was some new art installation or maybe an advertising stunt. But when I got closer and saw that the blocks looked like they were made of magical gold, I started to worry. Then we discovered that these were actual lucky blocks created by an evil wizard.
Labrador, it was incredible. At first, I thought you were joking when you said the blocks might be real. But as soon as I saw them up close, I realized they weren't just decorations. They had some kind of magical aura. As soon as we started investigating these blocks, something unexpected happened. One of them began to glow and emit strange sounds. We were lucky to be attentive. As soon as I touched one of the blocks, it opened up and a bunch of colorful sparks flew out. These sparks filled the air, and I knew we were in trouble.
Yes, and that was just the beginning. When we opened a few more blocks, it became clear that they weren't just decorative. Each block was somehow linked to the wizard's magic. One of them released actual fire elementals that immediately began wreaking havoc in our park. Another block triggered a snowstorm right in the middle of summer. We quickly realized that we needed to find a way to stop this magic and figure out how it all connected to the wizard.
Exactly. And you know what was the hardest part? Not just the blocks themselves, but the fact that they started attracting people's attention. Everyone began to gather around, and panic ensued. We tried to explain to people that these weren't just amusing toys, but a serious threat. Fortunately, we had a little time to figure out how to handle the situation. We decided we needed to find the wizard himself and figure out how to stop all these anomalies. But, as it turned out, he was aware of our interference.
Yes, the wizard was very clever. We started deciphering the note and realized that the wizard had left clues on how to neutralize the magic of the blocks. It turned out that each block was connected to a specific element: fire, water, earth, and air. To stop them, we needed to find special amulets that the wizard had hidden in various locations around the city. We managed to find all the amulets and stop the magic of the lucky blocks, and everything ended well. Thanks for watching and listening to this video, everyone. Goodbye for now.
I found 2 amulets and Labrador found the other 2. It will be interesting to see what happens next. Stay tuned for the next video. Goodbye for now.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to our channel. Today, we will be escaping from the evil pot-bellied grandpa.
Yes! Hello, everyone. Sheriff Labrador, we better keep it down in case he wakes up and whacks us with his cane.
Stupid Dobie, you're yelling louder than me. Look, here's my photo. I'm afraid to think what he did with it.
What are you thinking, Labrador? I think he just printed it out to remember your face. Let's go before dinner time comes and he wakes up.
Let's just jump on his belly instead. You're scared of Dobie again. What can he do to us? His eyes even look in different directions.
Oh no, Labrador, I think we woke him up. Run!
It's okay, Dobie. That old poker is running at a snail's pace. But you'd better hurry up. You're too close to him. Don't fall behind.
I feel uneasy. My tail senses someone about to bite me from behind. The main thing is not to look back.
You're right, but we're almost there. I don't even know why that old man has so many dentures, and why doesn't he clean up the floor? It seems like he's tired of chasing us. Look at these strange photos. Why hang something like this on the wall?
We did it, Sheriff Labrador. Maybe he really loves to look at himself. Although, judging by everything, he hardly ever gets off the couch.
Look! What are those giant boogers on the fork? It doesn't look like broccoli. I hope he didn't bite into them. And there are no teeth of his fallen out inside.
If I'm honest, I adore broccoli. They taste like mushrooms mixed with sea kale. Write in the comments if you like broccoli.
What are you talking about, Dobie? Everyone hates broccoli. Let them rather write what they love to eat the most.
Everyone has different food preferences. If someone likes something that you don't, it doesn't mean that person is strange.
What? Did you see that? Why did I die? I didn't even touch him. Stupid developers. Let's just finish this. Let's calmly walk through these chattering broccoli. See the face of that old man ahead? Just go to him and don't look back.
See that guy? Why is he walking backwards? He's just distracting us. Shoo! I stopped just in time. Spinach almost hit me in the muzzle.
I thought he was really just standing there waiting for us to pass these trials. Turns out he's so crazy he built his own giant iron copy and embedded it in the wall. But even your mom's bigger than him. Ha ha ha.
Watch out not to fall into the lava, Labrador, or you'll roast your sheriff outfit. They won't clean it off like last time when a seagull pooped on you. You tripped over a stone and fell into the city fountain. Ha ha ha.
Why are you speak off the cuff, Dobie? Maybe I should remind you of when you slipped on a piece of pizza and crashed into a lamppost. We had to pay for its repair too.
Very funny. But let's not get distracted, or you'll fall again. Let's ask the guys if they would like to see a video on our channel where we both play The Floor is Lava in Roblox. Write in the comments.
Why are you standing there, you goofball? I've already passed. Let's go further. Ahead of us awaits a conveyor belt with giant falling vegetables. Watch your head.
Once again, we are next to broccoli. Maybe you'll take a bite while you're next to it. I think you'll like it.
Where did you get lost there? Eating your broccoli again? We're in a hurry. Ahead of us is the room where we were at the very beginning, only now we're on top. I knew we just had to climb up to escape from him.
Sorry, they were very tempting. I couldn't resist. Look down. What's that pink stuff all over the floor? Maybe it's gum or jelly?
So, I'm Labrador, and my faithful partner is Dobie, the sheriffs of this wonderful city where something happens every day. But this day was truly special. It all started with rumors of strange experiments conducted in our city by a mad scientist. Everyone was tense, but no one expected that these experiments would lead to such a nightmare. This scientist, lost in the realms of science and madness, decided to experiment on jelly. Yes, you heard it right. On that sticky delicacy that each of us loves. He tried to improve it, making it more elastic, but alas, everything didn't go as planned. In one horrifying moment, there was an explosion that threw the scientist several meters back, and the jelly began to grow at an incredible speed. It covered everything in its path, threatening to flood our city. People ran in terror, screaming and praying for salvation. But I, Labrador, the sheriff of this city, couldn't allow this dreadful jelly to destroy everything we had built for so long. And I knew that my faithful friend Dobie was always by my side, ready to help. We moved forward. Our mission was clear: to stop this jelly at any cost. We swam through this sticky madness, my nose literally getting sucked into it, but we didn't give up. With my unmatched intellect and Dobby's nose, we found what fueled this jelly. Some strange reagent left by the scientist in his madness. We destroyed it, and the jelly began to melt, like falling snow. The city was saved. People came out on the streets again, and Dobby and I were proclaimed heroes of the day. But for us, the real reward was that we saved our beloved city from ruin. Thus ended our most incredible day, full of adventures and dangers. And, although no one will know about it firsthand, we know that we, Labrador and Dobby, the dynamic duo of canine justice, saved the world.
Amazing story, Labrador. Thanks for reminding us of it. But why did you bring a board with you? You can't slide down on it like on a sled.
I brought it for you, Dobby, in case you want to protect your pants.
Ha 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 ha! Very funny. Then let's talk about how you tore your pants when you climbed a tree to rescue a cat. The strangest thing was that the tear was in a very unexpected place. I hope the cat didn't get psychological trauma from what she saw there. Ha ha!
Let's not think about that right now. We're about to reach our main goal, to defeat that cheeky, pot-bellied old man.
Okay, Sheriff Labrador, let's focus on that. The main thing is not to repeat what happened a few minutes ago. Don't fall into the lava, ha ha! Look ahead, there are sod boards. Let me go first. I'm not as fat as you, so they won't break under me.
Look, Dobby, in the distance you can see that old man's lure, a golden prune. Strange choice. Why did he spend a lot of money on a dried fruit statue? Maybe it's because that old man himself looks like a dried fruit.
Why did that guy fall apart? He couldn't handle the upcoming challenge mentally. But I hope we'll succeed, Sheriff Labrador.
Dobby, let's finally finish this. Grab that prune and run. That way, we'll distract him with you, and I'll shoot at him with the bazooka.
Oh no, Labrador! It looks like he's hunting you instead of me. I'll try to distract him somehow.
Don't worry, he's very slow. Just make sure to dodge his big red laser. I don't want to find out how painful that is. It would be nice to have a bazooka like that. It would come in handy for major arrests. It even shoots backwards.
We're almost there. Let's push harder. I wonder how long it took him to make that giant suit and how he got inside it.
Yes, we did it. Great job. The world is saved from the crazy old man. We should celebrate, Dobby.
Hooray! Why did he just sink into the ground? Now that we're done, let me tell everyone an interesting story about how we saved the city from a virus epidemic. It all started on an ordinary morning. I went on duty with my partner, Sheriff Labrador. We noticed a sudden increase in the number of sick animals in the city. They were all complaining of weakness and fever, but no one could understand what was happening. We knew we had to act quickly, or the whole city could fall ill. I called our old friend Professor Ben, who worked in a secret laboratory outside the city. Ben had always been at the forefront of science and technology, and if anyone could help, it was him. "Hi, Dobby," said the professor. "It seems I have something that might help you. We've recently developed special visor glasses that allow you to see viruses in the environment." Labrador and I immediately went to Ben and received these amazing glasses. Putting them on, we saw our city in a completely new light. Viruses were everywhere, in the air, on surfaces, even on people and animals. "We need to find the source of the infection," said Labrador. His tail wagging with excitement, we began surveying the city, looking for clusters of viruses. The visor glasses showed that one of the abandoned houses was teeming with viruses. We cautiously entered and discovered an old laboratory where someone had apparently been conducting dangerous experiments. On a table, we found records indicating that someone had deliberately released the virus into the city. It was unthinkable. We gathered all the evidence and returned to the city to warn everyone and start cleaning the infected areas. "We need to isolate the infected and disinfect everything they might have touched," I ordered, and Labrador set out to coordinate the actions of the residents. Together with Professor Ben, we set up purification stations throughout the city. The residents, realizing the seriousness of the situation, began to help us. Labrador and I patrolled the streets, ensuring that everyone was safe. After several days of hard work, we finally managed to get the epidemic under control. The viruses disappeared, and our city became healthy and safe again. "You did a great job, Dobby," said Professor Ben, patting me on the shoulder. Without you and Labrador, we couldn't have handled it so quickly. It's our job, I replied modestly, looking at our beautiful city. We're always here to protect those we care about. So, with the help of new technologies and a team of friends, we were able to save our city from an invisible threat. The visor glasses became a symbol of our victory over the epidemic, reminding everyone that even ordinary law enforcers can do great things.
Great story, Dobby, but it's time to say goodbye. We still have to save the world in real life. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell. If you want us to play the scariest map in Roblox, leave a comment. Goodbye, everyone.
Hello, everybody. This is Dobie, but I'm not alone.
I'm here too. Hello, everyone. Today we're going to escape from the running head.
But it's not that simple because we have a lot of difficult challenges ahead.
Yeah, that's right, Dobie. But since we're sheriffs, no challenges can scare us.
Look, we've encountered the first running head, but it's very slow, so we can ignore it.
But we shouldn't lose our vigilance because there are probably a lot of traps here.
This maze is very simple. There's not even a ceiling, so we can peek to see how to get to the end.
Great, they won't catch us behind this barrier.
I want to see how smart they are.
That was a bit risky, but I also love taking risks. It's a big part of our job, after all.
Yes, but the key is to always think through your actions in advance and have a backup plan in case things go wrong.
Listen, they're getting really close to us. We need to watch our tails.
They walk so weirdly, and now they're stuck together. It looks like they're kissing.
I agree. I can't even imagine how they walk without legs.
Look, there's this gigantic one blocking our path to the finish. Let's find a way around it.
Oh, I see. It looks like it was a test of attention. We went through similar tests when we became sheriffs.
There are 3 heads in a narrow passage here. We'll need to use some parkour skills.
Oh no, they're kissing again? Let's turn away so they don't distract us. Maybe they're doing it on purpose to make us stumble.
Oh, he looks like that giant one, but luckily he's very slow and not very bright. We can easily outsmart him.
I think we're nearing the end of the first stage. Most likely, it's just beyond... Oh, there was a little trap here. That's exactly what happens when you lose focus. But since we're not on a mission, it's not a big deal. Always play for fun, guys.
Well, you were right. This stairs led to the portal to the next stage.
We continue. It seems we've entered some wooden house. There are 2 doors here. Let's go left.
Oh, he's standing with his back to us. Although it doesn't have a back, so I guess it's facing away with its nape.
Here we need to slip through very quickly because he's distracted by another hole in the wall.
Listen, I don't even know. Oh, I meant to say that I don't know where we need to go. Why did he stand unpredictably around the corner?
I think it's deliberately done by the author to scare us. As for where we're going, I'm not sure myself. Since the monitor can't emit smells, we can't find the exit using our dog instincts, so we're going blindly. But the main thing is not to turn around to avoid going back to the starting point.
Great! We've reached the checkpoint, which means we're halfway through the maze. Usually, checkpoints aren't placed just for fun, so there might be danger ahead of us.
Oops! Let's quickly crawl into the gap before this head regains consciousness.
Another checkpoint. Great! Seems like it's a new element of the challenge. We need to veer off the path in time before this head catches us right in its mouth.
Oh my god, we got a bit distracted and missed the turn. Well, no big deal. We understood the gist, and we'll quickly get back to the same spot.
Remember, Lab, how we spent nights playing horror games as kids?
Of course, those evenings with popcorn and an old computer, we cursed that eerie monastery 100 times.
I wonder how that has influenced our work now.
I think it taught us not to panic in dark corners. Remember when we first encountered that strange case in the abandoned mine?
Yeah, all those sounds and rustling. It felt like something out of an old game back then, too.
But thanks to our childhood fascination, we remained composed and figured out the situation. No mystique, just work.
And strangely enough, it still saves us to this day. I'm glad we spent those evenings in forgotten horrors together.
Me too, Dobie. In our world, every day can be like a horror movie, but we're always ready for it.
So, here we are at the 3rd stage of this place. Continuing on. It seems like another maze.
I hope this one will be more interesting and challenging, because the first one was boring, but I understand. It was just preparing us.
On this level, a lot of new mobs have been added. They even scare me a little. Brr, it's creepy.
I agree, but we shouldn't let fear take over, because it's deliberately designed to scare us and prevent us from completing this level. So, let's gather our strength and move forward, ignoring the obstacles.
By the way, speaking of strange creatures, Labrador, do you remember how we saved the town from mutant snakes? Let's tell that story. The day started like any other, but everything changed when reports came in about strange incidents in the town. People were talking about snakes that had once been harmless, but had now evolved, growing arms and legs. They began attacking people and taking over the streets. Labrador and I immediately headed to the scene.
Later, it turned out that all of this was orchestrated by an evil scientist from a neighboring town. He had made a bet with other scientists that he could take over our town and receive a reward from the government for it. When we arrived in the town, we saw real chaos. The mutant snakes were armed and organized, attacking the residents. Our first priority was to rescue people and restore order. We needed to act quickly and develop a plan.
We gathered a team of brave assistants and began a counterattack. Our efforts were focused on ensuring the safety of the people and identifying weaknesses in the snake's defenses.
Hold on a second, Dobie. We need to pause the story for a bit. We've just completed another stage. Good job!
So, where did I leave off? During one of our operations, we managed to capture one of their leaders, a huge snake with a head in command. He revealed that they planned to take over the town and make it their new home.
With our knowledge and resourcefulness, we devised a plan to stop these mutants. We used special tactics to weaken their defenses and reduce their numbers. The battle was fierce, but thanks to our endurance and friendship, we emerged victorious.
It seems like we're in a more modern house compared to the second stage. Here, it looks like Stone Age heads live, given the stone walls around us.
Oops, we've accidentally reached the starting point again, but no worries. Let's go back and turn in the other direction now.
Oh, these challenges are still very simple. It seems like this place is designed for children rather than sheriffs.
I'm also a bit disappointed by that, but I'm optimistic that a very challenging trial will come soon.
Ouch. That was unfair from the developer. I would have made that jump because I have very good reflexes. Oh well, let's forget about it.
Dobie, what do you think about these heads? Where do you think they came from?
To be honest, I don't even know which universe or game they're from, but I do know for sure that they're very popular on the internet, and they're quite creepy. Perhaps that's why they're popular. Their distinctive feature of having a face painted with white makeup and poorly applied lipstick.
Did you see that head around the corner? We almost ran into it. Once again, good reflexes saved us.
Oh, again! What are they doing there? Maybe they were also trying to jump over something and got stuck there forever?
That's a good theory. Well, we've completed another stage. Let's move on.
I hope it will be more interesting there.
All right, we've spawned in a new location. It seems to be a maze, but not a simple one. A transparent maze. What the heck?
Don't get disappointed so early, Sheriff Labrador. For some reason, you can't see through glass to other glass. I must have forgotten my school physics. But will we also be hindered by women's heads?
I thought those heads reproduced by budding, but it turns out the women were just on another level. Now it makes sense.
These women are prettier than those heads, but they still look ugly.
Oh no, we're stuck. Listen, this glass is really confusing. It seems to create very strange visual effects. Normally, such effects are caused by glasses.
Let's lighten the mood by remembering the funny story about how we rescued a school kid who was fooling around with a fire extinguisher and got stuck in a tree. Recently, Labrador and I had a special day, a tour for school children. We arrived at the school with a fire truck, an ambulance, and a police car to show the kids how our service works. The children were thrilled, especially when they were allowed to climb into the vehicles and try out being rescuers.
Everything was going smoothly until we noticed one of the students, a little rascal named Tim, quietly sneaking over to the fire truck and stealing a fire extinguisher. We thought he just wanted to play, but suddenly we heard screams. It turned out that Tim had activated the fire extinguisher and ended up in a tree, covered in foam.
I sense something's off here. We need to check carefully. The situation was critical. Tim was hanging from a branch, tightly gripping the fire extinguisher, and looked terrified. I immediately ran to the tree while Labrador coordinated the children to keep them away.
While Dobie climbed the tree, I calmed the children and explained that Tim would be safe. Thanks to his agility, Dobie quickly reached Tim. He spoke to him in a calm voice, convincing the boy to let go of the fire extinguisher and hold onto the branch.
This is a very strange challenge. Some heads are falling, while others aren't. When I reached Tim, he was on the verge of tears. I gently took his hand and helped him down. Tim was okay, but shaken. We talked to him about the importance of being careful and listening to adults.
Great, we've completed another stage. Moving on to the sixth one. I wonder how many there are in total. After that incident, we continued the tour, but with new safety rules. The children understood that safety is not a game. At the end of the day, everyone thanked us for the exciting lesson and promised to be more careful.
This day showed us that even the most ordinary events can unexpectedly turn into extreme situations. The main thing is that we are always ready to help and protect those who need it.
Hi guys, turns out we're only halfway through this place. Later on, it's gonna get really tough, which we're really happy about. Well, it's time for us to say goodbye. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel.
Write in the comments if you want to see the second part. See you later.
Hello friends, it's me again, Sheriff Labrador, with my inseparable partner, Sheriff Dobie. Today we have a special mission. We're planning to escape from the Minecraft zombie boss prison in Roblox. Hit that like button if you love zombies, and let us know in the comments who you think will break out of this prison faster.
Hey everyone! Oh, this mode is a real find? Imagine, we're locked up in a massive prison entirely in Minecraft style, and guarding it is none other than the zombie boss himself. A giant zombie with terrifying green eyes and an iron axe. Our goal is to break out of the prison, get through all the trap-filled levels, and avoid getting caught by the zombie.
But that's not all. After each victory, the map changes, and we find ourselves in new zones of the prison. From dark dungeons and abandoned mines to secret laboratories, and even a deserted village full of the boss's zombie minions. Every new location brings new puzzles and traps that we need to navigate around.
The story goes that the zombie boss was once a miner who was cursed for stealing an ancient artifact from a secret Minecraft temple. Now he rules this prison and catches anyone who tries to steal his treasure. But we're not here for the treasure. We're here to escape and prove we're the best.
Exactly, Dobie. But we'll have to be careful. The zombie boss has many traps, secret passages, locked doors, sand and lava pits, and moving blocks that could crush us at any moment.
Don't forget, guys, that we'll have some helpers along the way. Friendly villagers who can give us clues or useful items. For example, a pickaxe can help us break down walls, and a green potion can give us an extra life. Just remember, our time is limited because the zombie boss is always on guard.
Dobie, I can't stop thinking about that day when it all started. When that mad scientist fired his gun. Do you remember how it was? In an instant, the whole city changed. People, dogs, everyone began turning into zombies.
How could I forget, Labrador? It was a real nightmare. We were patrolling the streets as usual, and suddenly there was this bright flash in the sky. And then, zombies everywhere. I realized right away that something was wrong when I saw Mr. Flanagan from the flower shop slowly walking toward us with completely empty eyes.
Yeah, that was a creepy moment. We tried to approach him, but his eyes, that look, like there was nothing human left inside. That's when I knew we were dealing with something serious. And when we learned about that zombie gun, I didn't even know where to start.
And do you remember how we tried to find the scientist's lair? We followed that trail of strange green liquid he left behind. Every step we took was a risk. We had to be careful not to be seen by the zombies.
Yeah, and every move had to be calculated. I'm glad we had the courage. When we finally reached his laboratory, I thought he was just a lunatic. But seeing those plans, those blueprints, he had clearly been preparing for this for years. The gun stood in the center of the room, huge and ugly, like a nightmare from a bad dream.
I remember how my fur stood on end when I saw it. A massive metal structure with a bright green beam aimed right at the city. We knew right away what we had to do. Turn it off by any means necessary. But that scientist wasn't going to give up without a fight.
Exactly. He activated his security drones, and we had to maneuver between them, dodging their laser beams. We worked as a team. You distracted the drones, and I tried to get to the control panel. And then I accidentally stepped on a button and set off the alarm.
That was intense. But you know what I realized at that moment? You're the best at thinking on your feet. Your instinct told you to grab that wire and rip it out, and luckily, that disabled half of the system. But when we thought we were almost done, the scientist himself appeared.
He was completely insane. His eyes were burning like a cornered animal's. He was yelling that his invention was the future of humanity, that a zombie army was a way to protect the planet from its own mistakes. We exchanged glances and knew that words wouldn't be enough. We had to act.
Yeah, that was a tough fight. He started to ramp up his gun to the maximum, but you jumped just in time and knocked it off its axis. I remember reaching the panel and entering the code we found among his notes. The gun started to shut down. But then a new problem arose. The zombies began moving toward the laboratory.
Right. They could sense their master. We had to think fast to protect ourselves and turn off the gun once and for all. I suggested using the ventilation system to release the antidote. We didn't know if it would work, but we didn't have time to doubt. You agreed and started looking for the necessary ingredients.
Yeah, and I was lucky to find that flask with the blue solution, which we mixed with what was left in the lab. At the last moment, when the zombies were already an arm's length away, we launched the antidote through the ventilation system. And within a few minutes, we began to see the zombies returning to their normal states.
What a relief. People began coming to their senses, and the mad scientist realized he had lost. We tied him up and handed him over to the authorities. But you know, Dobie, after all this, I realized one thing. No matter how much evil exists in this world, if we stick together, no zombie guns will scare us.
Absolutely agree, Labrador. That day showed that we can handle any challenge. And even if a new madman comes along with some new evil idea, we'll be ready. Because we have the most important thing, friendship and loyalty.
Dobie, do you remember that winter when everything went wrong? We thought it was just an unusually cold season, but then strange reports started coming in. People were saying their homes, cars, and everything around them were freezing in an instant. And it turned out that all of this was because of that ice gun invented by the mad scientist.
Oh, I don't just remember, Labrador. I still feel the chill from all of that. It was a real disaster. We were driving through the streets of the city, and suddenly we saw an entire park freezing over right before our eyes, like it had been dipped in liquid nitrogen. And there you stand looking at it all thinking, what is even happening here?
Yeah, and it wasn't just strange. We realized this was the work of a person when we noticed the ice was spreading in a deliberate pattern. The lines of frost were moving like someone was shooting invisible bullets. I remember we decided to find the source of this gun. The trail led us to that old warehouse on the outskirts of town.
Oh, that warehouse. As soon as we walked in, I knew we were on the right track. It was even colder inside than outside. There was this huge machine with a long metal barrel pointed right at the city. And the scientist, that guy with wild white hair, was standing nearby, rubbing his hands together with an evil grin. He was clearly enjoying his masterpiece.
I remember how he started talking about his plans. He wanted to freeze the entire city and then use it as an example to the whole world to prove that he was a genius and that his ice technology could control the climate. He was completely convinced that his gun would change the course of history. But he didn't expect that we, two sheriffs, would challenge him.
Oh yeah, you, Labrador, got straight to the point. You told him his plan was madness and that we were here to stop him, but he just laughed. Then he turned to the control panel and pressed a button. The gun started to vibrate, and in the next second, I felt the temperature around us drop sharply.
Yeah, I felt that cold too. Everything around us started getting covered in frost, even the air seemed frozen. I knew we only had a few minutes to reach the gun and shut it down. That's when I suggested you distract him while I snuck up to the control panel.
Great plan! I started running around him pretending I was going to attack. He was clearly getting nervous and couldn't keep his focus on you. At one point, he started yelling at me, "Stop! You can't stop me, I am a great scientist." Meanwhile, you, Labrador, were almost at the panel.
Yeah, I snuck up to the panel and started looking for a way to shut the gun down. There were so many buttons and levers that I didn't know which one to press at first. Then I saw a big red lever labeled System Shutdown. And that's when I knew. This was our chance. I pulled the lever, and the whole machine began to slowly quiet down.
That was awesome! But the scientist noticed you at the panel and charged at you, screaming like a madman. We both knew he was ready to do anything to stop us, so I rushed to intercept him. You managed to shut down the gun just in time.
So yes, you managed to step in, and he tripped and fell right onto the ice he had created himself. While he was trying to get up, I completely shut down the system. The gun went silent, and the temperature in the room began to slowly return to normal.
Oh, what a relief that was! the entire city gradually started thawing and people could go outside again without fear. That scientist, of course, was arrested and his gun was destroyed. But I think the most important thing is that we proved that no inventions or plans of evil geniuses can stop us.
Dobie, watch out! This zombie boss is too close. Use your super jump to dodge his attack.
Got it, Sheriff Labrador. Jump! Phew, that was close. Now it's my turn to attack. I'm throwing dynamite. Cover me!
Go for it, Dobie. I'll cover you with my shield. Whoa, nice throw. He's stunned. Now it's my turn, charging up my lightning strike.
Perfect. Just a bit more, Sheriff Labrador. We almost got him. Finish him off with your super move.
Take this, zombie boss. Lightning strike. Wow, look, he melted into a pile of pixels. We did it, Dobie.
Hooray! We made it through this tough game. We escaped the prison and defeated the zombie boss. Sheriff Labrador, we make a great team.
Yeah, Dobie, this was an incredible adventure. Thanks to everyone who cheered us on.
See you soon, friends. Get ready for more adventures with Sheriffs Labrador and Dobie. Greetings, friends. I'm Sheriff Dobie, and today, along with my loyal partner, Sheriff Labrador, we are diving into an incredible adventure in Roblox in the Bori Prison Escape Mode. Hello, Labrador. Hello, Dobie. Hello to all our viewers. Today, we have a challenging task: to escape from an underwater prison where the floor is made of water. It seems we've been framed and ended up here because of the merfolk. But no worries, we will find a way out. Yes, Labrador, that's right. This mode is a real test. Imagine a huge prison located underwater. Instead of the usual corridors and cells, there are massive aquariums filled with water where you have to swim to move around. Each cell has puzzles that need to be solved to progress further. Exactly, Dobie. And there are dangerous sea creatures here that will try to stop us. We will need to avoid sharks, electric eels, and even giant jellyfish. But the most difficult part is finding the keys hidden in various corners of this underwater prison. Precisely. So, our task is to find these keys, solve all the puzzles, and of course, uncover the mystery of who framed us and why. I'm sure we can handle this together.
And we need to stay alert because the merfolk might set traps for us. We must be cautious and always keep our ears pricked.
Absolutely right. So, are you ready for the adventure? Let's get started. Good luck to everyone. And don't forget to support us with likes and comments. We'll start with the first level, finding a way out of the cell. Oh, it seems we've already gotten out of the cell and into some strange place.
We're about to embark on a truly exciting adventure. One day, Dobie and I thought, what if we built a super rocket and traveled to all the worlds? We pooled all our knowledge, skills, and a bit of ingenuity to create this amazing machine. And now, the rocket is ready. Dobie, are you ready for launch? Ready.
Of course, Labrador. So, our super rocket, named World Voyager, is on the launch pad. We carefully designed it to withstand any conditions and take us to the farthest corners of the universe. Labrador, did you complete the final technical inspection?
Yes, Dobie, all systems are working perfectly. I checked the engines, fuel tanks, and navigation systems. We're ready for launch. All aboard, friends. Our first journey begins right now. Launch.
3, 2, 1, lift off! The rocket smoothly ascends. We pass through the atmosphere, and here we are, in open space. An incredible sight, right, Labrador?
Yes, Dobie, it's amazing. Our first destination is the moon, as it's the closest world to us. Within a few minutes, we've landed on the lunar surface. Everything is covered in dust, and traces of previous expeditions are visible. But what's this? Someone is coming towards us.
It's the moon inhabitants. They're friendly and have invited us to their market, where they sell unusual souvenirs and items made from moon rocks. We exchanged gifts and learned a lot about their culture, but it's time to move on. Where to next, Labrador?
Dobie, how about Mars? They say there are hidden cities there. We take off again and head to the Red Planet. After a soft landing, we see amazing Martian cities built under domes. These domes protect the inhabitants from the harsh conditions of Mars.
We met a Martian engineer who showed us his inventions. It turns out the Martians are developing systems to process Martian soil into useful materials. We took some ideas into account and set off again.
Our next stop was Titan, Saturn's moon. Everything here was covered with icy lakes and mountains. We put on special suits and went to explore the subglacial caves. In one of the caves, we met the Titanians, intelligent beings living under the ice and feeding on Saturn's energy.
The Titanians turned out to be excellent storytellers. They told us legends about their ancestors and showed us ancient manuscripts carved on ice tablets. We were impressed by their culture and peaceful way of life. Time flew by, and it was time for a new journey.
How about Venus? They say colonies living in the clouds have been recently discovered there. We took off and headed to this mysterious planet. Venus greeted us with a dense atmosphere, but we successfully made our way through it and saw giant floating cities in the clouds.
These cities were built on huge cloud platforms, and the Venusians turned out to be incredibly hospitable. They showed us their technology, which allows them to extract energy from cloud vortices and create artificial rainforests. We spent several days enjoying their hospitality and studying their achievements.
And now it's time for the farthest journey. We set course for Proxima Centauri, the closest star to us. This journey took several weeks, but thanks to our super rocket, we arrived safely. On one of the planets, we discovered an amazing world inhabited by cybernetic beings.
These beings lived in harmony with nature and technology. They showed us their advancements in artificial intelligence and nanotechnology. We were amazed at how they managed to create a perfect balance between life and technology. And so, finally, our journey came to an end.
We returned home, full of impressions and knowledge. It was an incredible adventure, and we're glad you friends were with us all this time. Our super rocket performed excellently, and we will definitely continue to explore new worlds in the future.
Thank you for being with us, friends. We learned a lot, saw incredible places, and met amazing beings. We hope you enjoyed our story.
I will tell you an amazing story that happened to us a week ago. There were so many incidents and calls in our town that Dobie and I just couldn't be everywhere at once. So we decided to take extreme measures and clone ourselves. Dobie, are you ready to tell how it all started?
All right. A week ago, Labrador and I turned to our old friend, Professor Tesla, who specializes in biotechnology. We explained our problem to him, and he suggested creating our clones. We knew it was risky, but we had no other choice.
Professor Tesla developed a special machine that could create exact copies of us with the same skills and knowledge. He assured us that the clones would act and think just like us. After a few hours of work, our clones were ready. We named them Dobie 2 and Labrador 2. The robbery was orchestrated by a gang known as the Dark Shadows. They were professionals, and it would have been tough for us to handle them. But our clones rose to the occasion. They infiltrated the bank through the ventilation system and managed to neutralize the robbers using their hand-to-hand combat skills and strategic thinking.
Meanwhile, Labrador and I received another call, a fire at a factory. We rushed there to help the firefighters. There were many people in the factory, and they needed to be evacuated urgently. Working together with the firefighters, we managed to save all the workers and prevent the fire from spreading to neighboring buildings.
During this time, Dobie 2 and Labrador 2 received a call about a hostage situation at a school. There were armed criminals on the scene, and the situation was very tense. Our clones started negotiating with the criminals while simultaneously devising a plan to rescue the hostages.
Using cleverness and negotiation skills, the clones managed to distract the criminals and secretly enter the school. They then neutralized the criminals and safely evacuated all the children and teachers. It was an incredibly brave and professional act.
Meanwhile, several more incidents occurred in our town. A jewelry store robbery, street races, and a highway accident. But thanks to our clones, we were able to handle each of them. Dobie 2 and Labrador 2 acted like real heroes, and people started noticing that the sheriffs could be in two places at once.
But not everything went smoothly. A few days later, we noticed that our clones were starting to behave strangely. They became more aggressive and unpredictable. Professor Tesla explained that the clones might begin to develop their own personalities and go out of control.
And then, one evening, our clones caused real chaos in the town. They decided they could become the new rulers of the town and started setting their own rules. We had to step in and stop them.
It was a tough battle. Our clones knew all our tactics and moves, but we used our wits and experience to outsmart them. In the end, we managed to neutralize them and bring them back to Professor Tesla.
The professor apologized for what had happened and destroyed the cloning machine. We realized there are no shortcuts to success and that we have to handle all challenges ourselves, relying on our own strengths and mutual support.
This was an important lesson for us. We understood that despite all the difficulties, true strength lies in our team and our ability to work together. Thank you for being with us, friends. We are always ready to help, and no difficulties will stop us.
A week ago, Sheriff Dobie and I used a teleport to travel to the future and the past. It all started when we received a mysterious device from our friend, Professor Tesla.
Professor Tesla explained that his new invention could move us through time. He gave us the task of testing the teleport and finding out how it could be used for the benefit of our town. We immediately agreed and began our journey.
First, we decided to travel to the past. We set the teleport to 50 years ago and found ourselves in our town when it was completely different. Old buildings, people in retro clothes, and vintage cars. It was all amazing. We met a young Sheriff Jack who became our mentor.
It was an unforgettable adventure, friends. We hope to use the teleport again to make our town safer. Thank you for being with us. Until next time and new adventures.
Hi guys! Today we're playing Roblox in the Escape the Prison Just for Girls mode. This is going to be epic. Don't forget to like and comment.
Yeah, guys, we need to eat this giant cake to find a spoon and dig a tunnel. I always knew sweets could save the world.
Wow, Dobby, I think I found the spoon. It's time to start digging the tunnel. I wonder why they hide spoons in cakes. Is this some kind of secret tradition?
Now we need to go through this crazy parkour with rusty pipes and nails. And there's lava below. What a challenge. Who came up with such extreme conditions? As if rusty pipes and nails weren't enough.
Exactly. Careful, this pipe is shaking. Hold on tight.
Whew, almost fell. These nails are so sharp, like they're specially sharpened. Apparently they're not expecting guests here.
Almost there, Dobby. Look, there's the exit from the parkour ahead. But be careful, just a few more jumps.
Escaping this prison in Roblox is really tough. I don't know if we can make it. It all depends on you, viewers. I wonder if we have more boys or girls on our channel. Everyone hit the like button. And in the next video, we'll show who there's more of.
Dobby, it looks like we're in trouble. The girl guard is already after us. We need to find a way to escape quickly.
Exactly, Labrador. I see some pipes. Let's climb on them and try to go through the ventilation.
Great idea, Dobby. The guard won't be able to catch us at these heights. I hope she doesn't know we're parkour masters.
Haha, yeah, she has no idea we can jump like cats. The ventilation is ahead. Ready?
Always ready. Let's climb up, Dobby. This is like a spy movie. We just need some laser traps.
It would be cool if someone added lasers, but we'll manage without them for now. Here's the exit from the ventilation. We're almost free.
Jump down, quick. We did it. We escaped from the guard.
Phew, what an adventure. Labrador, remember when we were called to that girls' party? That was fun, too.
Oh, right. The girls had a unicorn and rainbow cupcake party. And we were called because they thought someone stole their pink glitter.
Ha ha, yeah. It turned out the glitter was hidden by one of the girls' little sisters as a surprise. And we were searching for the thief all that time.
And don't forget when we accidentally fell into the ball pit. The girls laughed so hard and we looked like two giant balls ourselves.
Yeah, that was an unforgettable evening. It's good that we can not only catch criminals, but also entertain kids.
Dobby, you won't believe what happened last week.
Something serious?
Yes, very. A mother came to us desperate about her little girl named Lily. It turned out that Lily really wanted to summon a unicorn. She had heard many stories about magical creatures and was convinced they existed.
What did she do?
She turned to a local witch named Morgana. Everyone knows she's a powerful sorceress capable of real miracles, but her methods are often unsafe.
That already sounds alarming. Morgana was never known for her kindness.
Exactly. Lily approached her with the request to summon a unicorn. Instead of explaining that such things could be dangerous, Morgana agreed to help. She said she would fulfill her wish, but the result would be unexpected.
What happened?
Morgana performed the ritual, but instead of summoning a unicorn, she turned Lily into one. When the girl realized what had happened, it was too late. She found herself in the body of a unicorn, unable to speak or explain what had happened.
That's terrible. How did we find out about this?
Lily's mother came to us when the girl went missing. She told us about her suspicions and mentioned that Lily often talked about unicorns and magic. We immediately suspected something was wrong and went to Morgana.
How did we manage to save Lily?
When we arrived at the witch's house, we saw a unicorn locked in a pen. It looked scared and helpless. We demanded an explanation from Morgana. At first, she denied everything, but under pressure, she confessed to her spell.
How did we turn Lily back?
We forced Morgana to perform a reversal spell. It wasn't easy, but eventually she agreed, understanding that the consequences could be severe for her. With the spell, Lily returned to her human form. She was frightened, but safe and sound.
That's incredible. Good thing we made it in time. How is Lily now?
She's recovering. Her mother is taking care of her, and they are trying to forget about the terrible incident. We also warned everyone in the area about the dangers of dealing with Morgana.
Great job, Labrador. The important thing is that Lily is safe, but we should keep an eye on Morgana to ensure nothing like this happens again.
Guys, what do you know about gnomes? Do you believe in them?
Labrador, do you remember that strange call we got a week ago?
Of course, Dobie. It was one of the most unexpected cases we've encountered. We got a call from a girls' camp. They reported that gnomes had taken over their camp and seemed to be planning to make the girls their queens.
Yeah, I remember. When we arrived on the scene, the situation was really alarming. Gnomes, who are usually considered peaceful beings, were behaving quite aggressively. They had set up their flags and turned the camp into their temporary stronghold.
The gnomes started demanding that the girls acknowledge them as kings and become their queens. They acted as if it was a matter of honor for them. I don't know what could have prompted such behavior, but it was clearly something unusual.
Exactly. We saw that the girls were locked in their tents and the gnomes were guarding the camp. It seemed like they were trying to perform some sort of ritual to assert their right to the royal status.
It was really unsettling. We quickly devised a plan to free the girls. The first step was to determine how many gnomes were there and what their weak points were. We had to act carefully to avoid provoking them into aggression.
We split into groups. I and a few of our team approached the camp from one side to distract the gnomes. Meanwhile, another group used this opportunity to free the girls and lead them out of the camp.
The gnomes were surprisingly persistent, but we used cunning and strategy to outmaneuver them. One of our colleagues created a false noise on the other side of the camp, which gave us a chance to quickly and discreetly free the girls.
We found the girls in their tents. All were shaken but generally safe. We explained the situation to them and helped them leave the camp. Fortunately, we managed to do this before the gnomes noticed anyone was missing.
Once the girls were safe, we returned to the gnomes to find out what had happened. It turned out that the gnomes were under the influence of some magical amulet that made them act against their will. We managed to return the amulet to its place and restore order.
Yes, after the amulet was returned, the gnomes went back to their usual behavior and even apologized for their actions. We made sure everything was settled and there would be no further issues.
It's good we were able to help the girls and sort out the situation. It was truly a strange and unexpected case.
Absolutely. The important thing is that everyone is safe and the girls' camp is back to being a place for relaxation, not a captured fortress.
But that's not the last case involving you girls. We love and appreciate you very much. You're our princesses. But now, here's a very scary story about you.
Labrador, do you remember that not-so-ordinary week ago? We got a call saying that all the girls at the camp had turned into zombies.
Oh, how could I forget? It was a real nightmare. We thought it was just another prank or a false alarm. But when we arrived, we saw that it was much worse than we could have imagined.
Yes, when we got there, the camp looked like a scene from a horror movie. The girls, who had recently been full of energy and laughter, were now wandering around the camp like zombies, with empty eyes and slow movements. We realized it wasn't a prank.
We immediately noticed that something was wrong. None of our attempts to communicate with them worked. They didn't respond to our voices and couldn't explain what had happened to them. We had to figure out the cause and find a way to help.
We started investigating the camp. We observed the girls' behavior and looked for possible signs of infection or magical influence. It seemed that this was not a typical infection, but something supernatural.
Yes, and that's when we found strange things. It turned out there was an old spell book in the camp, left there by someone. The book was full of ancient and dark magical formulas. We suspected that someone might have used it for a ritual.
Exactly. We decided to trace the source of the magic. We discovered that the book had been found by one of the girls. She had accidentally opened it, and one of the spells apparently activated, turning everyone into zombies.
The next step was to find a way to reverse the spell. We contacted a local mage who specialized in such matters. He explained that we needed to perform a purification ritual to neutralize the spell's effect.
We organized the ritual at the camp. It was challenging, as the girls continued to wander around, but with the help of magical symbols and spells, we managed to create a protective circle and carry out the ritual. It was like battling a dark force that had consumed them.
And fortunately, the ritual worked. After we completed the process, the girls began to regain their senses. Their eyes returned to normal, and they returned to their usual state. It was an incredibly joyful and relieving moment.
Yes, we immediately noticed that the girls were in shock, but they received all the necessary help. We provided medical checks and psychological support to ensure there were no lingering effects.
And although that week was a real test, we managed to handle it. The camp became a safe place again, and the girls returned to their usual activities.
It was indeed a unique case, but fortunately, we were able to deal with it and restore everything to its proper state.
Remember when we were training with our iron swords? Recall how I accidentally hit you in the side when you tried to do a trick? That was a lot of fun.
Oh, don't remind me. At that moment, I thought my acrobatic dreams were over. But now, we need to use all our skills and wits to defeat this iron beauty.
Agreed. And don't forget, this robotic cop definitely doesn't like it when her swords get touched too often. Let's flank her and strike at the vulnerable spot.
Look what I've come up with. Let's do it in team attack style. One distracts, the other strikes. We'll be like a battalion during the holidays. Fast and efficient.
We did it. Guys, see you in the next mode. Remember, together we can handle any challenge. Hi guys, welcome to our new Roblox video. Today we are diving into the exciting Escape Baby Bobby Daycare Obby mode.
Hi Labrador, hi everyone. This is going to be a real challenge.
I, Sheriff Labrador, and my faithful partner, Sheriff Dobie, will show you how to escape from the most guarded daycare in the world. Hello, Dobie.
This daycare is unlike any other. We'll face a huge number of obstacles and traps, as well as a formidable giant baby patrolling the area.
Yes, and don't forget about the advanced security technologies trying to stop us. We'll need to use all our skills to navigate jumps, avoid chases, and even cross hot liquid magma.
Exactly. And at the end, we will have an epic battle with Baby Bobby himself. This will be an unforgettable adventure.
Wow, did you see that scary face? That's the face of the baby we need to escape from.
We must defeat him to escape from this daycare.
Dobby, look, that's his cradle. We need to get through this parkour to escape the giant baby. Be careful, there are lots of traps here.
I see it, Labrador. Lasers, jumping platforms, and even floating cubes. We need to be extremely careful and precise in our movements.
Look, there are moving platforms ahead. Hang on, I'm gonna jump onto the first one. Ready?
Ready. Jumping after you.
Great, hold on, Dobby. We're on the right track. Just remember, the baby could spot us at any moment.
Look, Labrador, there's liquid magma below. One wrong step and we're done for. Be careful.
Yes, we need to be especially cautious here. I'll go ahead and you follow me. Ready?
Always ready. Jumping after you. Oh, that was close. I almost fell, but I managed to hold on.
Good job, Dobby. Keep up the pace. We're almost halfway there. Look, there's another tough section ahead with rotating blades.
I see them, Labrador. We need to time our jumps when the blades are at a safe distance.
Dobby, do you remember when a little boy called us? He was only 8 years old and he said he had been robbed. His voice was trembling with fear.
Of course, Labrador. He called us right from the street. He said some guy took his bike when he was riding home from school. We immediately went to the scene.
Yes, we quickly found the boy. He was standing at the intersection looking scared. We approached him and I said, "Don't worry, we're here to help."
He told us the robber was wearing a black jacket and rode off towards the park. We reassured him and promised to find his bike.
We headed to the park thinking the robber might be hiding there. As soon as we arrived, I spotted someone matching the boy's description.
Yes, I saw him too. We quietly approached and saw that he was indeed riding the stolen bike. I said, "This is our chance, Labrador. Let's approach him quietly."
We approached him and I said, "Stop! This is the police." The guy was stunned and stopped immediately. We detained him and I asked, "Where did you get this bike?" "Dobby, let's stop! We've woken him up! Look, he's up and running right at us! We need to think of something fast or he'll make us his toys."
Labrador, let's run to that big toy maze. He won't be able to catch us quickly among all those obstacles.
Great idea! Let's go, faster! We need to dash between these huge blocks and teddy bears. You go first, I'll follow.
I'm already there. The maze is really slowing him down. Labrador, look, there's a big slide ahead. If we slide down, we'll have a chance to lose him.
I see it. Let's go faster. Slide down. He's still at the other end of the maze. We have the advantage.
Oh, that was fun, but he's still chasing us. Look, there's a playroom ahead with lots of stuffed animals.
Hooray! We managed to escape from him. Look at him. How cute he is. He's crying because he couldn't catch us. He wanted to play tag with us, and he lost, so he's crying. Dobby, let's continue telling the story.
At first, he tried to deny it, but then he admitted to stealing it. We returned the bike to the boy and took the robber to the station.
When we returned the bike, the boy was overjoyed. He thanked us, and his mother couldn't believe it was resolved so quickly. We said, it's our job to help and protect.
Yes, Labrador, it was a good day. We were able to help the little boy and show him that he could rely on us.
So guys, if you ever have any problems, don't hesitate to call us. We're always ready to help.
Guys, how did you like the story? Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, and leave comments. You would be giving us a great gift. Thanks, everyone.
Dobby, are you okay? We fell right into the stomach of this giant baby.
Yes, Labrador, I'm fine, but we need to get out of here. We're surrounded by stomach acids and food. We need to act quickly.
Agreed. Look, there's a tunnel ahead, probably leading to his esophagus. If we go through it, we might have a chance to escape.
Good idea. Let's carefully make our way through so we don't slip. Stay close, Labrador. It could be slippery here.
I see the tunnel. It's pretty narrow, but we can squeeze through. Let's go, one at a time. I'll go first.
Okay, I'll follow you. It's dark and wet here. Be careful. We're already halfway through.
Dobby, look, there's light ahead. That might be the way out. We need to hurry.
Labrador, it really is the exit. Let's go faster before he swallows us again.
Dobby, remember when we arrived at that restaurant where everyone had been poisoned by that villain demanding money for the antidotes? It was a real catastrophe.
Yes, Labrador, I remember. People were in shock, many unconscious, but we couldn't leave them without help. We split up immediately. You kept an eye on the villain while I stayed to assist the victims.
I watched him as he extorted money from the patrons, offering them antidotes. When he least expected it, I approached and detained him while you were providing aid to the people.
We gathered all the victims in one place and started administering first aid. It was challenging, but we managed. Soon the ambulance arrived and transported everyone to the hospital.
We handed the villain over to the police, who were already waiting outside. It turned out he had previous convictions for fraud. Thankfully, no one died thanks to our quick response. Yes, Dobby, we really acted like true professionals. I hope that villain won't be able to harm anyone else. We had another story. Dobby, it was a crazy day. Skunks attacked our police station to free their brother from custody. They sprayed everything, and the station became unbearable.
Yes, Labrador, I remember that day. The whole station reeked of their spray. We could barely breathe. Those skunks were determined in their actions.
They took over the entire ground floor. We tried to drive them out, but they were persistent, especially their leader, a huge male who was clearly ready to do anything to save his brother.
Labrador, remember how we tried to use special deodorizing agents? But they quickly found ways around our defenses.
Yes, it was both funny and alarming at the same time. We eventually concluded that we needed to call in professional cleaners to rid the station of that smell.
But in the end, we managed to handle the situation. The skunks were taken back to nature, and their brother was transferred to a safer place. It was a real challenge for us, Labrador.
Dobby, we urgently need to find weapons to fight the boss. The RPG should help us deal with him quickly.
Right, Labrador, let's look for it. Here, I found the RPG. Now let's quickly prepare for battle.
There he is, the boss. But wait, it's not him. These are clones of the giant baby. They're everywhere. We need to hit each of them once.
They're all over the place. Labrador, be careful. We'll have to demonstrate our accuracy and speed.
I'm starting to shoot. First one down. But there are so many of them.
I'm getting them too. Second one killed. Don't give up, Labrador.
They're closing in. Another one bites the dust. Let's hold the defense, Dobby. There are a lot of them, but I believe we can handle it. Dobby, this is like a nightmare. We've been fighting these baby clones for eternity. They keep reappearing over and over again, and it's impossible to defeat them.
Yes, Labrador, it's madness. We shoot them. They disappear, and moments later, they're back again right in front of us. We need a plan to stop this endless stream.
I don't know how we got into this. They're so persistent, as if they were made for an endless battle.
Congratulations, everyone, on the victory. But this is not the end. Ahead of us lies another challenge, folks. I hope you've already subscribed to our YouTube channel.
Dobie, a week ago, our quiet town was struck by something terrible. A dragon. This event changed all our lives. We were not prepared for such a trial.
Yes, Labrador, it was a true trial. The dragon appeared out of nowhere, like a harbinger of apocalypse. Its roar echoed everywhere, and its fiery breath burned everything in its path.
We gathered together to defend our town. Our residents showed bravery, ready to stand up for their homes and families. We organized our defense and prepared for battle.
I remember how we divided tasks. Labrador, you coordinated combat actions, and I took charge of organizing evacuation and aid for the injured. It was our only hope for survival.
The dragon was immense and powerful. Our initial attempts to stop it were unsuccessful. Its scales repelled our arrows and even stone projectiles.
But we didn't give up. We used every resource we had. Our best archers and catapults attacked the dragon with all their might, but it kept advancing.
Day and night, we fought the dragon. Each time we thought we were nearing victory, it launched new attacks. Our town suffered from fire and destruction.
Our strength was in unity. We came together as one big family, determined to defend our town to the last. Every resident contributed to this struggle.
In the end, we found a weak spot on the dragon. We managed to strike it decisively. The dragon vanished in a burst of fire, leaving behind only ashes and destruction.
After the battle, we looked upon our ravaged town. Many homes were destroyed, but our hearts were filled with pride for our victory. We will rebuild our town and make it stronger than ever before.
That's a wrap, everyone. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye for now. Hey guys, it's Sheriff Labrador and Sheriff Dobie back again. Today we've jumped into a new mode in Roblox, Escape from Iron Man's prison. This isn't just any prison. It's a fortress packed with high-tech traps, lasers, and security drones. We'll need to use all our skills to get out of here.
Hello, everyone. This mode is awesome. Just imagine, we've been captured by Iron Man himself, or his robotic version, and locked up in his super prison. Everything here is made of indestructible metals and Stark Industries technology. Now our task is to escape before the security drones catch us.
It all starts with us waking up in a cell. Surrounding us are steel walls that seem impossible to break. But I noticed a small ventilation grate in the corner of the cell. That's our first chance to escape. We crawl through it and end up in a huge corridor filled with laser traps.
Yeah, these lasers aren't for the faint-hearted. You have to be very careful not to get caught in them. But that's just the beginning. Once we pass the lasers, we face a huge parkour challenge. The walls and floors are moving. Spikes and electric traps are everywhere. And it's all under Iron Man's control, who's watching us through cameras.
After the parkour, we'll face our first major danger, the security drones. They patrol every corner of the prison and can spot us at any moment. But we've got a little trick. If we move cautiously and hide behind obstacles, we can sneak past them unnoticed.
But that's not all. Once we deal with the drones, we'll face a real boss, the Lego version of Iron Man. He's incredibly strong, with a whole arsenal of lasers, rockets, and other weapons. But we won't give up. We need to use agility, speed, and cunning to defeat him.
And don't forget, before the final showdown, there's another fight. With the Lego version of Iron Man the Chef. He throws giant Lego vegetables at us, and we'll have to dodge and find the weak spots in his armor. It won't be easy, but we'll make it through.
In the grand finale, we'll have an epic battle against the mega robot Iron Man made of Lego. It's a gigantic machine guarding the exit from the prison. We have to defeat it in several stages, destroying parts of its body one by one. But once we take it down, the long-awaited escape and victory will be ours.
And don't forget, before the final showdown, there's another fight. With the Lego version of Iron Man the Chef. He throws giant Lego vegetables at us, and we'll have to dodge and find the weak spots in his armor. It won't be easy, but we'll make it through.
In the grand finale, we'll have an epic battle against the mega robot Iron Man made of Lego. It's a gigantic machine guarding the exit from the prison. We have to defeat it in several stages, destroying parts of its body one by one. But once we take it down, the long-awaited escape and victory will be ours.
It was just another morning in our town. The sun had just begun to rise over the horizon when I, Sheriff Labrador, was already up and ready for the new day. There was nothing unusual about that day until Dobie and I received an emergency call. A malfunction had occurred at the local lab, and strange energy surges were spreading across the city.
We immediately rushed to the scene. When we arrived, we saw the destruction left behind by this mysterious malfunction. The lab's walls were breached, and debris was flying everywhere. At the center of all this chaos stood a massive machine, pulsating with red light. And next to it was Tony Stark himself, in his iconic Iron Man armor. His expression was grim, and it was clear that the situation had spiraled out of control.
Tony quickly explained that he and Bruce Banner had been working on a new project, trying to create an alternative energy source. But something went wrong, and the machine started generating energy they couldn't control. It could explode at any moment, not only destroying the lab, but also the entire city.
We knew we had to act fast. Tony said that his team, the Avengers, was on the way, but it might be too late by the time they arrived. We offered our help, and seeing our determination, Tony assigned us the task of finding a way to shut down the machine from the inside.
We infiltrated the lab where we encountered all sorts of traps and security systems. It seemed as though the machine was defending itself from any interference, but we weren't the type to give up easily. Working together, we managed to break through to the machine's core.
But then, we were met with another surprise. The machine wasn't just generating energy, it was creating portals, from which creatures from other dimensions began to emerge. They were aggressive and tried to stop us from shutting down the process. We had to fight them off while figuring out how to disable the device.
At that moment, we heard a powerful roar. It was the Avengers arriving to help. Thor, Captain America, Black Widow, and Hulk stormed into the lab, assisting us in fending off the creatures. Thor struck down several with his hammer, while Captain America shielded us with his shield. It was total chaos. But with their help, we managed to reach the machine's central computer.
With Tony's guidance over the comms, we were able to enter the shutdown code. The machine began to slow down, and the portals started closing one by one. But one of the creatures managed to land a final blow on the control panel, causing a short circuit. A flash of light blinded us, and when we came to, everything was quiet. The machine was off, and all the portals were closed.
The Avengers thanked us for our help, but the story didn't end there. Once everything had calmed down, Tony Stark offered us a chance to join them. He said we had proven ourselves to be true heroes, and that the Avengers were always looking for those ready to fight for good.
We were surprised and excited. Joining the Avengers, it was an honor we never could have dreamed of. Of course, we accepted. And so, we became part of the greatest team of heroes defending the world from threats.
Since then, we've been part of many missions. We fought side by side with Earth's mightiest heroes, protecting our world from alien invasions, evil geniuses, and magical threats. We learned what it meant to be part of something bigger, what it meant to be an Avenger.
And although our adventures were just beginning, we knew one thing. With the Avengers, we were ready for any challenge. We became not just the sheriffs of our town, but the protectors of the entire Earth.
It all started when a new threat began to emerge in our town. A group of high-tech criminals armed to the teeth. They used advanced technology to carry out robberies, hacks, and even attacks on citizens. The usual police equipment couldn't handle them, and the situation was growing more dangerous by the day.
One day, after yet another attack by this gang, Labrador and I decided that we couldn't just sit idly by anymore. We knew we had to do something to protect our town. That's when we had an idea. What if we used technology against the criminals themselves?
Remembering our recent adventures with the Avengers, we realized that we didn't just need a new plan. We needed new powers. And who better to help us than Tony Stark, the genius, billionaire, playboy, and philanthropist? We went to him, explained our problem, and asked for his help.
Tony listened to us carefully, then started thinking. We could practically see his brain buzzing with ideas. Why not? He finally said. Tony suggested creating special suits for us that would turn us into real iron dogs. These weren't just suits of armor, they were full systems capable of adapting to any situation.
We started working with him in his lab. Tony was incredibly generous and gave us access to all his resources. We designed the suits thinking through every detail and function. For each of our unique traits, he created custom systems.
For me, Tony developed a suit with enhanced sensory equipment, allowing me to track enemies from a great distance, even if they were hiding behind walls. I also got powerful energy cannons built into my paws and reinforced armor plates that could withstand even the most powerful attacks.
As for me, Tony created a suit with enhanced claws that could cut through metal and a jetpack for quick movement across the battlefield. My armor was equipped with a system that adapted to damage, automatically strengthening protection in weak spots.
After several weeks of intense work, our suits were ready. We ran test trials in virtual reality, where we faced simulations of those very criminals. Our suits performed brilliantly. We could match their technology and even surpass it.
Then the day came when we first used our new powers in a real battle. The criminals once again tried to rob a bank using their high-tech devices. But this time, they were up against us, the sheriffs in Iron Dog suits.
We quickly neutralized their defense systems, foiled their plans, and prevented the robbery. The criminals hadn't anticipated this turn of events and were stunned by our power. One by one, they tried to escape, but thanks to our new abilities, we captured every last one of them.
The city was saved, and we proved once again that no one could threaten our citizens while we were on guard. But this victory was only the beginning. We knew that our new mission was not only to protect our city, but also to teach other sheriffs and defenders around the world how to use technology for good.
We didn't just become heroes, we became inspirations for many. The Iron Dog suits became symbols not only of strength, but also of wisdom, selflessness, and a desire to protect. Since then, our town sleeps peacefully, knowing that the Iron Dogs are on guard, ready to step up and defend at any moment. Friends, goodbye for now. See you in the next adventure.
Hello, friends. It's Sheriff Labrador here, and today, along with my best partner, Sheriff Dobie, we've entered a very unusual Roblox mode, Escape from Pooh Boy's Prison. Yes, the main villains here are living mutant poop creatures. They guard the prison and won't let us escape easily. Our mission is to avoid traps, find the way out, and of course, not step on these mutants. Dobie, what do you think of the idea?
Hello, friends. Honestly, this is one of the strangest modes we've ever played, but that's what makes it so funny. These POU boys look a little creepy and unpleasant, but we're not afraid of dirty adventures. I'm sure we'll manage to outsmart them, right, Labrador? Guys, don't forget to like if you want more weird adventures like this, and comment on what you would do to escape.
Absolutely, Dobie. Look, the first hallway is full of traps, and one of the POU boys is already patrolling it. We need to find the keys to the cell and get out before they catch us. I've heard there are hidden passages in this prison that we can use to escape unnoticed. I think we should try to find them. What do you think?
Definitely, Labrador. We have to be careful because the POU boys can suddenly pop out from the corners, and they're not easy to fool. They're too clever. By the way, if we find a map of the prison, we can plan a safer route to the exit. That will definitely help us. Guys, what would you do in this situation? Write your ideas in the comments, and we'll make our move.
Good plan, Dobie. We're moving forward, avoiding the traps, and trying to find that map. But remember, friends, without your support, it'll be harder for us. So don't forget to subscribe to the channel and smash that like button to help us escape from these mutant poop creatures. And be careful, Dobie. I have a feeling one of them is already nearby.
Don't worry, Labrador. I'm ready. But you're right. We need to stay alert, because if they catch us, they'll send us back to the prison, and we'll have to start all over again. I've heard they have a secret stash where they keep their supplies. Maybe we'll find everything we need for the escape there. Guys, support us in the comments, and maybe next time we'll show you another crazy Roblox mode.
Dobie, I can't forget the day we got the strangest call of our entire career. We were just relaxing at home when my collar started flashing bright red. At first, I thought it was the usual stuff, like a missing kitten or a lost ball. But as soon as we took the call, it turned out to be something entirely different. The school fair had been attacked by living mutant poop. I didn't believe it at first. Did you see how I froze when I heard it over the radio?
Labrador, you weren't the only one in shock. When I heard living poop, I nearly fell off my chair laughing. Honestly, I thought it was a prank at first. But when you said, "This is a real threat, Dobie," this. I realized it was serious. We rushed to the school, and on the way, I tried to imagine how poop could come to life and attack kids. It's just nonsense.
I was trying to figure it out too. But when we arrived on the scene, it was clear. This was no joke. The schoolyard was complete chaos. Kids were running around in panic, and all around them were real poop creatures. They came in all sizes, from small ones like tennis balls to massive ones like soccer balls. And they were covered in slimy tentacles. I thought, well, looks like we're in for one of the weirdest fights yet.
Yeah, it was quite a sight. I didn't even know where to start. These mutants were aggressive. They weren't just hopping around. They were trying to grab kids with their slimy tentacles. Remember when one of them caught a boy by the leg? I rushed in to help immediately. We both knew we had to figure out how to stop these things quickly. But how? They're poop. You can't exactly bite them.
Exactly. And as we got closer to the epicenter, the smell hit me. That was a real test of endurance. We quickly came up with a plan. I'd distract the bigger poop creature while you rescued the kids. But the big question remained. How do we stop these disgusting things? While you were getting the kids to safety, I noticed something. They were afraid of water. The moment I splashed one of the mutants with a puddle, it started shrinking. I realized water was our key.
You're a genius, Labrador. I had just gotten a group of kids to safety when I saw you take down one of the mutants with water. That gave me an idea. Remember the big water pump in the schoolyard? I ran over and turned it on full blast. Water started gushing everywhere, and we directed the streams right at the poop creatures. They began dissolving before our eyes, and soon, all that was left were small puddles. Everything was under control.
That was our saving grace. You did an amazing job with the pump, and soon most of the mutants were gone. But there was one left, the biggest and nastiest of them all. It was right in the middle of the yard, and it clearly didn't want to give up. Do you remember how it started swelling, getting bigger and bigger? I thought if we didn't stop it soon, it could become a real threat to the entire neighborhood.
Of course I remember. That giant mutant was enormous. I remember saying, Labrador, if we don't find a way to deal with this thing, it's over. And just when I started panicking, you came up with the craziest plan. Knock it into the swimming pool behind the school. It was risky, but we had no other choice. We started coordinating. You distracted it with your quick moves while I pushed it toward the pool.
Yeah, it was a risky move, but we had no other option. I remember how we struggled to keep that giant on the path to the pool. And when it was right on the edge, you made your big leap and knocked it into the water. That was an epic finale. As soon as the mutant touched the water, it started dissolving slowly. We stood by the pool's edge, watching it disappear into the depths, leaving only bubbles and the smell behind. Victory was ours.
Whew, that was something else. When it was all over, I just sat down and took a deep breath. I never thought I'd end up fighting poop, but thanks to our teamwork and your sharp thinking, we saved everyone. The kids went back to their fare, and the teachers thanked us for the rescue. Though, honestly, I still can't believe it was real. Now I know we can handle anything, even the weirdest challenges.
Dobie, do you remember how we ended up on that strange planet where all wishes come true? It was something unbelievable. We had no idea such a planet even existed until we received the coordinates through a portal. When we first landed, everything around us seemed normal, but the air felt strange, like it was filled with magic. The first thing I thought was, what if everything we wish for becomes reality? And you know what? I decided to give it a try. I said, I want a pile of bones to chew on. And right before our eyes, a huge pile of delicious bones appeared. I was stunned.
Oh, I remember that perfectly. You had this grin on your face like you just found treasure, and I couldn't stop laughing because it was so absurd. A whole mountain of bones just because you wished for it. So, I decided to try as well. I said, I want an unlimited amount of toys. And guess what? Right in front of me, dozens, maybe even hundreds of balls, ropes, chew toys appeared. It was paradise for us. I couldn't believe my eyes. But then I started to wonder, is it really that simple? What if there's some kind of trap here?
Exactly. At first, it felt like a party, but the longer we stayed, the more I started to feel uneasy. We were sitting in that clearing, surrounded by our bones and toys, and suddenly I felt this sense of dread. This planet seemed too good to be true. Then I said, I want to see what's hidden behind those trees. In an instant, the trees parted, revealing a massive, endless valley. But in the distance, on the horizon, I noticed something strange. an enormous castle with a dark, ominous glow. I thought maybe that's where the secret of all this magic lies.
You're always so sharp, Labrador. I would have just kept playing with the toys, but you insisted we needed to investigate the castle, and I trusted you. We set off, leaving all our new toys and bones behind. The closer we got to the castle, the heavier everything started to feel. It was as if something or someone was watching us. And when we reached the gates, they opened on their own. It was both thrilling and creepy. Inside, a strange voice greeted us, saying, "Welcome, wish seekers. Your desires here are more than just dreams."
Exactly. At first, it felt like a party, but the longer we stayed, the more I started to feel uneasy. We were sitting in that clearing, surrounded by our bones and toys, and suddenly I felt this sense of dread. This planet seemed too good to be true. Then I said, "I want to see what's hidden behind those trees." In an instant, the trees parted, revealing a massive, endless valley. But in the distance, on the horizon, I noticed something strange. An enormous castle with a dark, ominous glow. I thought maybe that's where the secret of all this magic lies.
You're right, Labrador. At that moment, I felt something strange inside, too. I started to remember. Something important was slipping away from my memory. It was like a part of my past was just erased. I couldn't remember some of our adventures anymore. I said to the creature, "Why should we lose something valuable for a wish? We didn't know about the price." But it just smirked and replied, "Every great wish requires a sacrifice. That is the law of this planet." I realized we had to act fast. If we kept making wishes, we would lose everything that makes us who we are.
That was the moment I realized how serious the situation was. We couldn't stay on this planet and use its magic anymore. We needed to leave before it was too late. I turned to the creature and said, "We want to leave. Give us back everything we've lost." Thank you all for watching, and stay tuned for new adventures.
When it was all over, we found ourselves back on our planet, on our familiar street. All our memories returned, and we no longer felt that emptiness. The planet of wishes no longer had us trapped in its spell.